Most Australians have no idea how much they actually need to retire. They guess, they hope, they throw out numbers like $1 million because it sounds about right, and then they spend the next 30 years stressed about whether they'll make it. The reality is, the number you need is probably very different from what you think, and it depends almost entirely on one thing: when you want to stop working. Retiring at 67 is a completely different financial game than retiring at 55, and retiring at 50 is a different planet altogether. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through exactly how much you need to retire at every age in Australia, using the latest 2026 figures from ASFA and Services Australia, so you can finally see your real target. Whether you're 25 and just getting started, or 55 and wondering if it's too late, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where you stand and what to do next. Now, most of the retirement math we're about to go through assumes your money is working for you over decades through long-term investing inside and outside of super. But while long-term passive investing is about building your retirement nest egg, some of you are also interested in the active side of the markets to understand short-term price movements and actively managing your trades. That's where today's sponsor, MyTrade, comes in. MyTrade is an award-winning licensed CFD broker founded in Melbourne back in 2011. They give you access to over 970 global instruments through CFDs of Forex, gold, oil, indices, and shares, all from one platform. They offer zero commission on all CFD trades, though spreads and overnight funding fees do apply. One standout feature is full TradingView integration built directly into the platform, so you get advanced charting with over 80 technical indicators without paying extra. If you're curious but not ready to commit real money, MyTrade offers a free demo account with $50,000 in virtual funds. It's a way to explore the platform and see how CFD trading works without any financial commitment. I do need to be upfront. 74 to 89% of retail investor accounts lose money when trading CFDs. CFDs are complex, high-risk instruments and may not be suitable for everyone. Only trade with capital you can afford to lose. Links in the description and pinned in the comments if you want to check it out. All right, back to the big question. How much do you actually need sitting in your account the day you stop working? According to the Association of Superannuation Funds of Australia, a single person needs around $54,840 a year for a comfortable retirement, and a couple needs about $77,375 a year. That assumes you own your home outright, you're in reasonable health, and you want a bit of fun. We're talking the occasional restaurant meal, decent private health cover, a reliable car, and maybe one overseas trip every 7 years. For a modest lifestyle, the numbers drop to around $35,503 a year for a single and $51,299 for a couple. But that lifestyle leaves very little room for the unexpected, like a broken hot water system, a dental emergency, or helping your kids when life throws them a curveball. Now here's where it gets interesting. ASFA says a single person retiring at 67 needs a lump sum of $630,000 and a couple needs $730,000. That sounds huge, but those numbers assume you'll receive a part-age pension to top up your income. The current full-age pension is around $30,646 a year for a single person and roughly $46,202 combined for a couple. So the government is actually doing more of the heavy lifting than most people realise. Your super isn't replacing your income. It's filling the gap between the pension and the lifestyle you actually want. But here's the part that changes everything. The earlier you want to retire, the more you need, because you can't touch the age pension until 67, and you can't access most super until at least 60. So the real question isn't how much you need, it's when you want to stop working. If you want to retire at 67, the standard pension age, aim for that $630,000 mark as a single or $730,000 as a couple. That's the comfortable target. If you only want a modest lifestyle, ASFA says you can do it on as little as $110,000 in super, because the age pension covers most of your basics. But modest means you're cooking at home, holidaying in Australia, and being careful with the heating bill. It's safe, but it's tight, and one big medical bill can shake the whole plan. If you want to retire at 60, you need to bridge 7 years before the age pension kicks in. That means you need roughly $200,000 more than someone retiring at 67. So aim for around 830,000 as a single or about 950,000 as a couple. The good news is at 60 you can usually access your super tax free. So once you stop working, your money starts working harder. This is the sweet spot most Australians aim for because it gives you 7 extra years of freedom while your body can still enjoy it. If you want to retire at 55, things get serious. You're funding 12 years before the pension and you can't fully tap your super until 60. You'll need a healthy balance outside super in things like ETFs, shares, or an investment property. A solid target is around $1.1 million total across super and personal investments for a single, or $1.3 million for a couple, assuming you own your home. The split matters here, because that bridge between 55 and 60 has to come from money you can actually access. If you want to retire at 50, you're playing the FIRE game. That stands for financial independence, retire early. The simple rule is to multiply your yearly spending by 25. So if you want to live on $60,000 a year, you need $1.5 million invested. If you want $80,000 a year, that jumps to $2 million. And remember, most of that needs to be outside super because you can't legally touch your super for another decade. People who pull this off usually save 50% or more of their income for years, which sounds extreme, but it buys back decades of your life. If you want to retire at 40, the maths is brutal but doable. You'll need at least 25 to 30 times your annual spending, fully invested, and ideally a paid-off home. That's usually somewhere between $1.5 million and $2.5 million, depending on your lifestyle. Almost nobody gets there on a salary alone. It takes high savings rate, smart investing, and often a business or side income that scales beyond your hours. Now let me show you something uncomfortable. The average super balance in Australia for someone aged 60 to 64 is just $263,400. For someone in their early 50s, it's around $190,500. That means most Aussies are well behind the comfortable target. If that's you, don't panic, but don't ignore it either. You have more levers than you think, and the worst thing you can do is bury your head and hope it works out. Here's what actually moves the needle. First, salary sacrifice into super. Even an extra $100 a week into super in your 40s can add over $100,000 to your balance by 67, thanks to compounding and tax savings. Second, pay down high-interest debt before chasing investments. A credit card at 22% interest is eating your future faster than any ETF can grow it. Third, own your home before you retire, or have a clear plan for housing costs, because the ASFA numbers fall apart if you're still paying rent at 70. Fourth, review your super fund fees once a year. The difference between a 1% fee and a 0.2% fee can be more than $200,000 over a working life. And here's the mindset shift that matters most. Retirement isn't an age, it's a number. The day your investments earn enough to cover your lifestyle is the day you're financially free, whether that's at 45 or 75. Most Australians never calculate that number, which is why they feel anxious about money even when they're earning well. Once you know your target, every dollar has a job and every decision becomes simpler. The car you almost bought, the renovation you delayed, the side hustle you started, they all start making sense when you can see the finish line. So here's what you can do today. Work out your annual spending, multiply it by 25, subtract any expected age pension if you'll be over 67. That's your real number. Then check your current super balance and your investments outside super. The gap between where you are and where you need to be is your plan. If this video helped you see your retirement more clearly, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.